You may find that this is the most valuable lesson in the entire series. I mean, it's simple, deceptively simple actually, but don't let that deceive you. Who knows? You may just look at the world differently at the end of this lesson. So let's get into it. An asset versus a liability. What's the difference and why does it matter? An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. An asset could be a mutual fund that pays you a dividend, a rental property that provides you with monthly rental income, or your house that appreciates or goes up in value. All of these things put money in your pocket. And this is what makes these assets. They make money for you. Think of an asset as your employee. They're working on your behalf day and night. Their job description is simple: make you money. That's it. Assets have value because they make money. Some assets are physical, like an apartment building or a stock. Remember, while a stock is not physical, it represents ownership in a real company, which is physical. So assets can also be intangible things, though, such as human capital. What's human capital? It's the education, skills, and experience, degrees, designations, and the talent you have. For example, if you had a PhD or a law degree or a CPA designation, could those things make you money? You bet. Education and skills are assets. They can help you make more money. Okay, so an asset is something, anything really, that puts money in your pocket. If you had to guess, what do you think a liability is? Yep, anything that takes money out of your pocket. So here's a few examples: credit cards, car lease, vacation rental, even tardiness. All of these things suck money from you month after month. Assets pay you, liabilities you pay. It's simple stuff, but powerful. So this is the difference between an asset and a liability. Assets, things like stocks, mutual funds, real estate, they put money in your pocket. They provide income. Liabilities, just the opposite. Instead of putting money in your pocket, liabilities take money from you. They take money out of your pocket. Examples would be a mortgage. You have to pay a mortgage every month. A car lease. You have to make that car payment every single month. Credit cards. Big difference between an asset and a liability. Assets are our friends. They give us money. They provide us with money. Liabilities are our enemy. We don't like liabilities because they take money from us. But what would happen if you just purchased liabilities? Well, you might have a lot of stuff, but none of the stuff would make you any money, and it would all cost you money to keep. So what would happen if you just bought assets? You would grow an army of investments that would be dedicated to making you money and growing your net worth. So let's do a pop quiz. So let's talk about some of these. Are they assets or are they liabilities? So a house. We know it's an asset. It can make money for us. It can go up in value. A mortgage. A mortgage is a debt. You owe the bank a certain amount of money. That's a liability because you have to pay on it each month and they charge you interest. So mortgage, definitely a liability. Car lease. Similar. You owe the bank money and they charge you interest because they lent you the money. That is absolutely a liability. Savings account. Pretty simple. Savings account, you give the bank money, they pay you interest. Because it's making you money, it becomes an asset. What about a kitchen remodel? So I know a lot of people will say, I'm going to take some money, put it into my house, and it's going to increase the value of my house. And while that may be true, more often than not, any kind of remodel, typically a liability. You're taking money, you're putting it into an asset that may or may not increase in value. So this one, open to debate, usually liability though. What about Apple stock? Definitely it's an asset. You're investing in something, it's paying you dividends, it could increase in value. Any kind of stock or mutual fund, absolutely an asset. What about the Apple iPhone? So that's different. That's not an asset, it's a liability. You're putting and giving money to purchase something. And is that something making you money? Is the iPhone that you just bought, is that making you money? Probably not. In fact, if you have a data plan or a voice plan, it's costing you money every single month to own this. Therefore, It's not an asset, it's a liability. What about a business? Lots of businesses are assets. You build them, you grow them, they produce money for you. Great example of an asset. What about an employee? Well, if you think about an employee, you know that you have to pay them each month, every couple of weeks. So you might think, well, it could be a liability. But the reason you have the employee, even though you have to pay them every month, you hope that they're making more than you're paying them. So employees, at least good employees, should be assets. So these are various examples of different things that could either be assets or liabilities. And as you've seen, some of them might be a little bit of both. So what's the lesson here? Buy assets and avoid liabilities, of course. That would be ideal. But beyond that, start looking at everything as an asset or a liability. Before you buy anything, just make a mental note. Is this going to put money in my pocket, or will this just take money from my pocket? Get into the habit of having this quick conversation with yourself each time you're about to buy something. Who knows? Maybe it won't change how you buy, but then again, it just might.